I feel like with Arsenal, though, there is something that caused this. Kell is the reason. Manchester City. There was a game 3 years ago that would go on to change Arsenal's life forever. Arsenal were playing attractive, sexy football. They were amazing to watch. They were incredible to watch. They were on the front foot. Martinelli, 15-goal season. Let's go. And then they go to the Etihad and lose 4-1. And then they lose that league title to Manchester City. And it's like from that moment onwards, Arteta's thing became like, I can't lose. He went from a I must win manager to I can't lose manager. And I think that's where he changed. He changed the way he thinks about the sport to begin with. Like he just completely changed the way that they operate as an institution. And I think with the football club as well, because this isn't just Arteta's fault. You need people around you. Even though you're the manager, you need people around you sometimes to challenge you, give you different opinions, you know, and that's where Liverpool fall off started 4 years ago, where we stopped challenging Klopp, where we stopped challenging the staff, where we stopped, you know, giving our own opinions. Klopp, you want Branton Godza? No, Habibi, there's Sadio Mane at Southampton, there's Salah at Roma. You sign them, then we are going to be successful. We do that and we end up being successful. We stopped challenging him. We allowed the club to go sign the likes of Nunes, make multiple different wrong signings. And now, you know, we paid for it essentially with 4 years without a league title. And with an Arsenal perspective, it's very similar right now. Like, I think you need a sporting director that's really smart. But even then, I can't guarantee you that the Cronkies would have winning on the top of their list. I think if I got John W. Henry and Josh Kroenke in a room right now, secretly, and I offered them a contract where they get second or third for the next 10 years straight, they're both signing that shit directly. If I sat with, Sheikh Mansour and I offered them the same thing, he would punch me in the face. If I offered the same thing to Todd Bowley or Iqbali, they would laugh at me.
They wouldn't accept.
That's the reality. Yeah, they wouldn't accept it. But that's the difference between both clubs in essence. Right now, okay, we're sat here. For the last week, you guys have seen Trent being made out to be a villain. Trent is the bad guy. Trent is this, Trent is that. Trent wants to go to Real Madrid. Okay, no problem. So Salah and Van Dijk both told you they want to stay. Where is their contracts? Since Trent is the villain. Where is their contract? But people need to understand, PR machines are real. Arsenal's PR machine is a thing. Liverpool's PR machine is a thing, and I know that for a fact because the top content creator in my space, at least, I'm not going to speak for Arsenal, but in my space at least, Liverpool fans had to pay £5 a month as a subscription to watch Klopp's last interview, which should have been made free for all Liverpool fans. But that's the type of connections that they have with the football club. Yeah, that's the reality. Let me land. That's the reality of the situation. So when it comes to the way that the clubs operate, we operate at similar levels. There is a lack of ambition, and this trickles down from ownership group down. With Manchester City, listen, I cuss my club, and I can also say I hate Man City. I do both things. With Manchester City, they said they want to be the class club, the example. Now, how they went about it and how they got to that level is where Hussam criticizes Manchester City. But right now, no one can say that Manchester City as an institution has gotten that many transfers wrong, has not done the right thing in the transfer market. Like, of course, they make a mistake here and there, but for the most part, they've done the correct thing. For the most part, they've hired the right people. I mean, you know, we talk about Julian Alvarez as an example. So you're telling me Pep Guardiola was awake at 4 a.m. watching River Plate? No, he was not. But someone came to him, he said, yo, there's a striker that operates this way. He has this qualities. These are the things that, you know, he can do on the football pitch. Do you want him? Those are the type of conversations that take your club forward. And unfortunately, we used to be the model club at that, Liverpool, 4 years ago. And we stopped doing that. And ever since we stopped doing that, it went to the shits. And I feel like it's the same with Arsenal. Because the same way, like, it's not like the managers were awake watching 3rd division of Brazil scouting Martinelli. No, they were not. Like someone, there was a scout that you know about him. And I've spoken to scouts. I've actually, when I was on Spaces, people know this. I've spoken to footballers. I've spoken to scouts. I know how they operate. Every club has a certain amount of scouts in a certain continent. There are certain stuff that you see in FIFA or on games that are actually real. Manchester City have the largest amount of scouts in South America. The largest amount of scouts in South America from any Premier League institution. Like, I think someone told me that, like, I think Manchester City have as many scouts in Brazil as Liverpool have in the whole continent, as an example. So, like, when it comes to these conversations, these are the small things that make a difference in the end. And now I landed to the footballing point. Arsenal now, something must change. It's as simple as that. Obviously, you're not going to get rid of the Cronkies because there are asses on seats, so that's not going to happen. So something must change. Either you must back the manager and go spend 150 million on 2 players that change your life, or you must sack the manager, get a new face in to win you a league title. There is literally no third solution. This is it now. You have to make a decision. And that's my thoughts.
I want to get Nina's point on this, because her club, we have all criticized the way Chelsea would run. Me, Hussein, everyone, in the last 3 years. But if you're looking at it now, do you think it has been successful, Nina? What Chelsea have done? You're looking at it now. Would you rather be an Arsenal now, or Liverpool, or Chelsea?
I'm never going to say that, Mo. But
no, in terms of ownership and the way they run the club, and
I got
Arsenal,
your question.
Chelsea.
I got your question, but I think that to answer the question,
I'd rather be Chelsea as a Liverpool fan. Go ahead.
Really? Oh.
Okay. Just wants the better owner.
Sam, you would rather be in our position?
Yeah, he said yes.
Nina, we can have black and white conversations and go like Liverpool.
No, it's just really interesting to me, because I get the criticism.
You're this close to dominating. You're this close. You're literally this close. Chelsea fans
and
just
also
don't
this close to everyone saying that none of it worked out if we continue to go down a spiral.
Yes, but if you go sign 2 world-class players, you can dominate for the next 5 years.
Yes, okay. But in terms of Mo's initial question about whether it's successful, I think it's a lot more complicated than saying right now yes or no, because I think it's still a work in progress thing for what they set out to do, the owners, when they took over. And I think everybody, again, me included, I'm not just going to point fingers elsewhere, said that it was a very rash approach to how you kind of run the club and how you go into the windows. And everyone laughed that, we're so erratic and chaotic in transfer windows, but, we rushed to kind of make wholesale changes to the club initially and immediately, to a point where it seemed over the top. It seemed too dramatic. And we went through definitely the first 2 seasons of absolutely not backing it, because it seemed like it was just for the sake of buying players, just for the sake of bringing in players to sign on these long 7, 8, 9 year deals to look like we have something for the future. And at the time, we didn't understand it. Maybe this season, a lot more things are making sense. But the line is very thin here. And I say that because there are certain players who you can say, okay, that kind of finally makes sense. But then they go through a bit of a bad patch. And it's back to, that was a pointless signing, or you should have gone for someone else. And I think I can talk about maybe like a Nicholas Jackson. That's kind of why we never went in for an out and out number 9. Hussam, you say we could have gone for that kind of one signing that would have changed us and elevated us to that next level for us to be a title challenging team. Maybe that would have been like an actual finished, kind of polished out and out number 9, but we decided to stick to that model of going for the Nicholas Jacksons and the players that have had 1-2 good seasons in Europe, not even that maybe, and to give him a chance to come and kind of start from a clean slate with multiple different managers. But I think, again, it's really easy, and maybe some Chelsea fans, and me included, were still apprehensive at the start, saying, well, did we kind of make it a complete window? I think summer, maybe business could have still been done a little bit better. And that's mad to say, because my owners are ambitious, have shown that they have kind of the club's best interest at heart, even though at the start it was hard to believe. But now when you see things kind of working out better, we addressed the kind of midfield problem, which was a kind of towards the end of Abramovich. That was something that he kind of left for the new owners to fix. It was a problem that wasn't addressed. We needed refreshment in midfield, like towards the end of Abramovich's tenure as a owner. So lots of things that, yes, were fixed because of ambitious owners, and a lot of things that we still as Chelsea fans will tell you that kind of could have been different. This could have been different. And yeah, like they're not going to get it perfect every window, but I could tell you what my targets are now, and I could tell you where the mistakes in maybe the last kind of 2 windows were as well. So I think it's still a very fine line to say whether or how successful this really is. Come towards the end of the season, ask me that again, and I could probably tell you yes or no, because then that means you've had 3 years now where this has kind of been work in progress. We can understand the model a little bit better. But until that end of the season, and with kind of 4 winless games now, it's a little bit harder to tell you whether, all the transfer kind of targets were addressed in the right way. There were kind of frailties still. I don't think that they were very ambitious with our defence, or as ambitious they could have been, and that's a weakness at Chelsea. That's something that
can I ask you the reverse question though, because it's important to address the other scenario.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say that Arsenal and Liverpool both are more likely to fall off than Chelsea?
Damn.
Like this season?
Like overall in the next year.
Overall, in general, I'm saying. In general.
This conversation is not about only this season, because
if
you look at this season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I get. Okay. So in kind of the long-term span of things and how things have gone, well, yeah, for sure. Because again, I guess the point you make earlier, Hassam, about how ambitious you are in the windows does tell you that, because you look at results, you look at things, but not even that. And I think when you look at Arsenal, yeah, okay, you can be a bit more ambitious, but I think you have to look at the manager a lot as well. And maybe that is where, like Hassam said, you do have to question some things. And I think there was a kind of an apprehension from Arsenal as a club kind of coming into the season where they were almost too scared to kind of touch anything, tweak anything, because it kind of has shown to work in terms of them getting really close to winning the title in the last couple of years, to a point where they were maybe a bit oblivious to the kind of weaknesses that were emerging and were there, and there should have been things done, questioned Arteta about certain things, and then Arteta actually showed that he himself second-guessed his own kind of ideology and what he kind of set out to do with Arsenal in the last couple of years. So there he was kind of building this thing that made everyone around him and the people supporting him trust him so much, to a point where they said, do you know what, do your thing this season as well. We're not going to question things. And Arteta's actually just suddenly kind of almost had this kind of in mind conflict with himself. And now the owners kind of have to look at him a little bit and ask some questions or offer some different suggestions, because I don't think this is something that he can manage and turn around himself. It's not just like a kind of managerial thing.
Yeah, but that's also one of the reasons why I'd rather be Chelsea now, because I'm looking at the long-term future. Look, I've Kel knows this as well, because she's probably seen me or heard me say this the most, other than Mo. I think this is the last dance season, like, for me. So I'm enjoying
Salah and Van Dijk sign, yeah.
Even time will catch them eventually. Like,
who's gonna catch Liverpool? City.
Mo, can I? Okay. See, because you guys always like to do this. Are we gonna have Salah have 38 JA in December again? No, we're not. Exactly. So that's the point.
And Father Time is coming.
He's not gonna fall off to the point that you're gonna. Sam, if you don't,
it's not about Salah individually falling off. Mo, you're missing the point.
I think I am missing the point.
Okay, I'll tell you the point. Salah drops off a little bit. Van Dijk drops off a little bit.
You sign.
Wait.
You're gonna sell Nunes and sign.
Wait. Trent drops off.
Why are we assuming that Liverpool will not sign anyone? Why are we assuming this? You signed. You actually went in a summer. You signed 3 midfielders in one summer. Why are we assuming that Liverpool will not go out of their way in this summer?
We sold 90 million worth of talent,
and you did it. But the
we
summer
bought
before,
Federico Chiesa with no knees.
Sam, don't be dramatic, right? You didn't sign. That's fine.
I think they sign when like something is
okay, I agree with you because they're ambitious owners. But you can't tell me that now the news are coming up that are willing to sign Darwin Nunes. They aren't going to go out and get a striker to back Mohamed Salah. You aren't going to go and sign a defender. You aren't going to go and sign another guy. You are assuming the worst to make your point. You're saying that Liverpool will not sign anyone.
Let me tell you the real scenario. Right now, it's
real scenario, please.
January 9th. Joe Gomez is injured. Kwanzaa's texting Astrid, and he's injured as well. And Konate is made from Weetabix. We need a centre back. Where's my centre back?
Mohamed, you're assuming the words that they aren't going to sign.
Yeah, he starts stuttering now.
Habibi, you aren't listening. You are assuming that Liverpool in the summer will not sign anyone. I'm assuming that Liverpool at least next summer will sign 3 players: a forward, a centre back, and a midfielder.
I get Hassam's concern, though. I get Hassam's concern because at the start, where Liverpool had went in, I don't know, almost 10 games conceding as few goals as they did, that's where you had the solid Konate Van Dijk partnership at the back. That was really key to them taking off as good as they did as well, because they were scoring goals, but they were also defending. And we all know that to win a title, you need to have a good defense. So I get Hassam's kind of concern there that needs to be strengthened, because Liverpool have become easier to score against, and that's evident in recent games. So I get why he is concerned there. And we all know you can't outscore your opponents every single game to win games. So yeah, you can concede, but I think that is a real issue to look at there. So that's where you can say there are cracks. Yeah.
Before I do